I will start the recap off. The party ventured forth from their nightly ambush, made the decision to press ahead and take levels of exhaustion instead of spending the night or taking a long rest anywhere. They ran into the town that you see currently displayed in Roll20, and upon a scout mission determined it was probably better to go around the town. The question is which direction. You could go north, you could go south, and the party chose to go north. So before being seen or within range of the town, the party diverted northward, which is where we find ourselves now, with said pictured town in the rearview mirror. Party headed towards back to the mixed, either coniferous and deciduous forest. We find ourselves traipsing through the Feywild. So if you have a level of exhaustion, please remind or recall your character and what that means. If it's only one level, it's usually if I recall correctly, it's disadvantage on saving throws unless someone starts burning spell slots.
It's ability checks.
Ability checks? See?
Yes.
Good. Thank you. Ability checks, which we shall see. And we did determine last time it was greater restoration, not lesser restoration, that gets rid of that gets rid of levels of exhaustion. I don't think anyone burned any. I think you'll get just one or two. Is it one? Right, because I knew. Okay, I knew you all were going that route, and then someone spoke up and said, "Hey, that might not be a great idea, just given the conditions," and then rolled back how many that they were firing off. Yes. So, with that, who is leading the pack?
I will, since I'm not exhausted.
Okay. All right, Mary, go ahead.
I'd follow any shining star.
Mary, go ahead and roll your nature check to see if you can follow the path. I will assume that Rosalind or Flix or Aragon is going to help navigate. I assume, yes.
Uh-huh. I'll just roll again.
Hope.
14.
Okay. Yeah, you find what looks to be a path going in the northwestern direction to get up and around the lake. Easily enough, right? You're obviously not head towards back towards the town. And as the party travels, you notice all the differences between the Fey realm and the material plane. The fauna and flora seem larger, more vibrant. You notice a few little oddities, like maybe they just look dimensionally longer or shorter than they do back home. The sounds of nature, the birds, animals, sound richer and deeper as you progress through this trail, which after some time you will find yourselves. I'm going to do a map change, so bear with me. It's going to be blacked out for a lot of it. Scroll or zoom out, you're going to want to find due south. That's where you'll want to start. And then I'll explain further. And I'll ping and make sure A, I'm on the right layer, and B, I have the right tool selected.
I can see your ping.
Okay.
Moved over for you, Rose.
I'm keeping a close eye on Mary's back.
Mary unsheathes her sword.
So as
Ooh,
Mary
get me excited.
as Mary leads the party into this next area, you see that the trees here get larger, older, more like an old growth forest feel to it. Very ancient. You're sure the lake is now would be towards your left hand or your southern side. And you see this, where this kind of cutout is, where Mary's token is kind of situated. That's where the path is going into. So as you approach this now forested area, seems to be almost like a giant wall, right? Trees are crammed in there, and very few spots to meander between the trees in a straight path, other than what's kind of depicted at this point. So drag your tokens out, please, and put yourselves in a marching order. Now, just for some transparency's sake, I'm trying something a little different than I have on maps, so we'll see how well this goes. A little crawly, but it's going to be hard to tell because there's going to be it's hard to tell on the map where there's boundaries, so it's going to be more on me to tell you how far you can go. It might be a little slower than you think. So before anyone goes zooming off, please let me know where you're trying to go so I can interject if there's any issues.
I'm gonna go straight for the throat of the unseelie ruler.
All right, just going straight from rear. Got it.
Yeah.
All right, so as everyone approaches the forest, you see, Mary, that it tends to funnel, right? Kind of like a hedgerow. You can see straight, and the path starts to go only to the left. So move up to where, try and do 5 to 15 feet of movement, and it'll go a little slow. And I'm going to start revealing as you go. Which, post-game, let me know what you thought of this. Alright, so you have a decision now, party. You can go here, or you can go here as you start to there's 2 different paths that present themselves as the forest begins forcing you in a direction. So here to the southern end, it looks like it keeps going to the eastern edge. Same with this northern option. It too looks to be like it goes straight across.
Now, you mentioned that the forest is trying to force us in a direction. Which direction is it trying to force us?
Also, you said you said this direction's north.
I'm discerning the top and the bottom, right? So it's harder to, on my end, I guess.
Because I know that you said that we wanted to head in a southwesternly direction, and we were only going north around the lake.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Rose.
Just checking, because if the case is that to the left is north, we'd be wanting to go to the bottom of the map.
Or at least right.
I guess I'll have to reuse some terminology. So what I'm trying to, I guess, describe is, and what I can... So this path... Oh, wrong tool. Right. So, the path, you can either continue up where you are and keep going straight, or you can, and I'm going to do multiple pings here, you can follow down here as this goes in the, quote, southern direction, and then also veers to the west. So I'm trying to describe 2 different paths. If that clarifies the confusion.
So there's the one that's like closer to the lake?
you're unsure as you ventured into this area.
Do I notice anything off about the forest surroundings?
Roll your perception check. You're the first one to ask that question, so.
I start to unsheath my flint and steel.
So, Mary, with your perception, you see that as you walk through the forest, so right as you came to your position and you started to get into the next area, that the trees subtly are moving to reveal paths. It seems to be only as you get close enough to that potential path that they will open up. Else, from what you can tell as you turn around, seems like they start closing once you go past a certain distance.
So
Does
we're
it
the head mage from Harry Potter.
Gross. Does it seem like it's the forest doing it, like something sentient about the forest, or does it seem like the illusion magic that we kind of ran into before?
Or third option, there was a tree ant fucking with us.
Yeah.
Is it that?
More natural. And with Flicker's, well, Flicker would know, and most likely Flicks and Ariana, that, yeah, tree ants are a thing. And as you start looking with your perception, looking around at the older trees, yeah, you know, tree ants could definitely be here.
Flicker. Fireball.
I don't have fireball.
You're a sorcerer. Fireball.
Which one of you motherfuckers have some alcohol? You pointy teeth. I know you got it.
I got lightning.
I got firebolt.
Let me show you how we do it in Eberron. I go over to Urius and just pull out a random ass bottle of liquor. This is me assuming because Bard.
Absolutely. He has some whiskey somewhere in his possession, sure.
Oh god, I have something funny I want to do. I'm not going to do it.
How dangerous is it?
For me, very dangerous. But the funny thing I was going to do is going to walk over to Mary and be like, there's no time, rip off a piece of her dress and stuff.
You're
Just
asking
a-
for murder.
And that's the end of Gallo Boudoir.
For the your own character would murder your own character.
Yeah.
That's how,
I mean,
so that's
didn't
how we
Flicker
get
murder
that.
her
All
own
right,
character?
got it.
Just out of nowhere, he appears behind you and nothing personnel kid.
So that's
my
how we
wow.
get Elden back into the story. Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Gallo's pulled into the shadows, kicking and screaming. No, Gello pulls out. He's got to have some type of cloth with him. He's got basic.
He's got
adventuring
clothes.
supply. He's not ripping his fucking clothes. He's a man of class. He rips up, I don't know, a little piece off his hammock because he's got a hammock. Stuffs it into the bottle, takes his flint and steel, lights the piece of the hammock. It's like, stand back. It's about to get very hot. I don't know where the fuck I was going with that accent. But,
Then.
and he throws it at a nearby tree.
Okay. Ping where you want this tree to get hit.
Right here.
All right. So as
That
we-
poor tree did nothing wrong.
It's being creepy. Time to die.
All right. So we're launching a Molotov cocktail as the tree erupts into flames, as it is very old and dry, and fire begins to glow. You hear this groaning throughout the trees. What's the party gonna do?
I'm gonna call out. You better fucking let us through, or it's gonna be you next.
Mary, you're leading. Looks like some of the parties I'll move Furious and Nico up so that they're in the funneled area. We got Ariana and Flix in the back. Flix, let me know if you have no control over that token.
No, I got it. The only thing I'm trying to figure out is I'm fighting how to get these character portraits out of my face so I can actually see the map.
I figured it out. I sent you a message on Discord.
Does it seem like the trees are letting us through, or at least doing anything?
Not yet. You can tell, though, with the increase of groaning, you hear the branches swaying and moving, that the fire has done something to the forest. You're unsure of what yet. But there still
Well,
remains two
I'd
paths.
say it set it on fucking fire.
While it's on fire, yes, that is absolutely true. We'll see what its effects are.
I didn't know that
Burning.
you were such a capitalist.
I'm gonna go ahead and yell out. We're heading towards insert location here. Get out of our way.
Sealy Court.
Show us the way, or we're gonna get out more fire.
Your princess has returned. Either stand with us or burn in our wake.
Okay.
Nico, give me more bottles.
Nico just looks down and like just the book that he's got strapped around his butt. What? I don't have anything.
I think Mr. Pontetit is more inclined to let you rummage through his things.
We would
He
prefer
awkwardly
for you
looks
to
at
not
your
get
wrists.
hurt.
But in response to Mary's request, you see that this. Here, let me know if you can't see the green.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, so that path then blocks off, leaving one path open towards the bottom. You may want to hurry, as there's a tree on that rounded corner that is on fire. As it then proceeds to catch the tree next to it on fire.
We advance.
Okay, move your token.
Down here, you said?
Yep.
Okay.
And then...
Is the fire, like, is it a big fire or is it currently a small fire?
It's got
Like-
two trees, well, one tree fully engulfed.
Okay, that's
And
a
the
little
other one
bigger
is-
than I can deal with. So I'll move past quickly.
I did say it's an old forest and dry, so I mean, a
Oh.
Molotov cocktail tends to burn pretty quick.
Indeed.
I don't suppose Ariana has like create water.
If the forest would happily oblige us, I may have something that could help it save itself.
Hey, I mean, technically, if these burn down, they'll eventually new trees will grow from the ashes. Although we're still a little fucked up that we're gonna let its forest burn down.
Well, would you rather let the forest burn down or have the forest kill you?
Yeah, that's not a hard choice to make at all.
Gallo, if you can, would you take care of our little warning?
For you, mademoiselle, I'd give the world. And let me make sure this is what I can do. Now, I have Gust of Wind, and I have Gust. So I have the means to manipulate wind in the air, right? This is me bargaining with you, Doug.
Okay.
Could I use Gust of Wind to, like, control the wind around the flaming tree to, like, starve the fire of oxygen?
Okay. So you're going to manipulate everything all around it. So that, okay, you're trying to make a vacuum around it. Is that the idea?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Describe to me how you do this. Hold on, you're in the way. I'm gonna move your token real quick, Yellow. You should be somewhere up here. Alright. And then I'm gonna move you, Flex.
Because this is kind of a big deal, I'm going to use Gust of Wind instead of Gust. So my fancy new ska does not do anything. Miguel is just like, I might not be magically inclined or well versed in the ways of the schooling, but my people, we are born with certain gifts, and twirl my hand in a circular motion, and the wind starts to pick up, and as it does, the leaves around this tree, go away at a safe distance so they don't catch fire, and the wind just spirals and spirals and spirals until it's just, you can visibly see this column of wind around this flaming tree, and then it just snuffs it out.
As you cast your spell, you see the fire, it'll peak for a second, and then dim out as it is starved for oxygen. It'll leave one tree mostly burnt, no leaves or foliage on it, a black corpse amongst the green treescape. The other one, more half burned, half still alive, next to it. As the fire is put out, you still hear this groaning and creaking amongst the trees.
I'll yell out to the forest, if you all help me get home, you'll be rewarded. But you better bet if you stand in my way, I've got a bonfire spell ready to light under your ass.
Awkward silence. No groaning, no creaking. Just silence.
Somehow that feels mildly comforting. We should probably head in a southwesternly direction if we can.
I agree.
Okay,
Yeah.
move your tokens to where. I'll change it so once you've determined your direction, you can move to up to where you can see. So as I've revealed pretty much this entire length down here up to here. Alright, so it goes due left, then straight up. You can move there. Yeah, just like that. Good job, Booker. Yes.
It's nice to be home. You can't talk to the forests like this in the rest of Altruix. At least not without them, or I mean, at least not with them responding.
It certainly is charming.
Just wait until you see the spas and baths in the Sealy Court. Oh my gosh.
Whoops. That was not. I went to grab Nico's token and instead grabbed the map, and it just zoomed me across. Alright. So, again, as you traverse the forest, you see, looks like you can either go straight. Now, kind of denote it here a little bit. So you can go straight through a little tiny trail, or it looks like the trail keels off to the right. Up to the party. Or Mary, who's leading. Options now are straight or right.
I'm gonna go straight.
Okay.
Like an arrow. I like it.
Up to here.
Being straight with. Never mind.
And who's pulling rear guard, out of curiosity?
I suppose I'll bring up the rear.
I'm definitely guarding someone's rear.
I don't have enough chicken
Save up
adobo
the
for this.
bedroom.
What can I say? I like to play with my prey.
She does the walk, just huddles closer to Flicker.
So go ahead and move your tokens. Again, path kind of skinnies up to here. Going straight. This one now starts headed towards the easterly direction.
My finger.
Looks like
There.
it's all good. All right. So you have two different paths. I guess now three. You can continue going straight. You can start to veer off into again, going the easterly direction. Or you can backtrack right where you're at and go also in an easterly direction. And then for Flicks, as you are pulling rear guard, I'm just gonna drag these two in the corner. You begin to see the trees are moving. They're closing off where you've been in the past.
It's really starting to feel like this forest is trying to make us go east.
Well, obviously the forest wants a bonfire spell up its ass.
You got it!
Nico, give me that bottle.
I'm gonna cast bonfire on a tree like 10 feet away in the woods.
Okay. Point out, ping your direction, please.
Do it in the
Can work.
easterly direction.
Yeah, I'm gonna fire it off to the east.
Okay. Do you have a particular? I know you can only see. Okay, I got your map. All right, cool. I will reveal that area.
And I'll yell at the woods. I don't want to go east. Take me southwest. That's home. You fucking forest. We're gonna come out here. We're gonna chop you down.
You can make pretty good money from selling Fey wood out in the Mordor realm.
Mortal. Y'all got that storybook too?
Flicker's
Really
gonna.
thought you said Mordor.
I thought you were saying. So Flicker was gonna respond to that with. Wait, you're saying you're immortal?
No.
Oh, I am.
Flicker will go for the tiniest high five.
All right, so we got a bonfire going. And
Y'all got any of what we call marshmallows?
What are those? Do they come from the marsh? The marshland?
Originally, yes.
I've heard of marshmallows, but that's a plant. It's not really tasty.
Oh no. See, we have refined sugar in such a way that we create these little puffs. They're like little tiny mushrooms. They're mushrooms. I meant pillows that you pop into your mouth, and they tasty good. And you put them on a stick and roast them over a fire, and the crunch and the gooiness. Throw it on some chocolate. And what the fuck is that?
hold on, I need to make sure.
I pull out F-15 and start shooting. I start blasting.
Who brought Grot into this game?
I need to check the size real quick. Yeah, so I'll get the initiative tracker going here in a minute. So all this is pretty slow. I'm going to clear the turn order. I don't trust it anymore. Flicks. Weird that I'm talking to you now. Roll 20 is weird for me. Like you'll understand. The dice rolling.
Is,
I mean, when we roll the same roll 3 times in a row, I have questions.
I mean, sometimes it just happened like that.
Oh. All right. I guess
I suppose that wasn't the same roll because one's a +4 and one's a +2.
Yeah. All right. So it is huge sized. Okay. I was mixing large and huge.
I clicked on my token. What the fuck?
LSU.
Apparently.
So I will say the fairy characters, and anyone that has spent time in Fey Realm knows, yeah, that's a tree. As
Nico, give me that fucking bottle.
as Nico runs raiding Nearest pack with some. He hands you this small, clear bottle. It's like it smells like the last one, just slightly different, but it's clear, and that one was brown. I don't know if that matters to you. As he runs over with this bottle, it's vodka. But
Usually it does, but not in this moment.
As the Treant just yells, and I know a handful of you all know Sylvan. I know Mary knows everything.
Yep.
Understands everything.
Well, all three of the fairies know Sylvan, I know that.
You just hear it screaming no. And that's, in terms of timing, that's as soon as you cast Bonfire and it lights and starting to engulf another tree, that's when this thing appears. Screaming no. And it does not look, it runs straight for Flicker, because you're the one that casts Bonfire. So it will have a surprise round on Flicker, unless, Flicker, you have something that prevents a surprise.
I don't think so.
Alright. It is going to reach out with its arm and make one slam attack against you. And then we will go through the turn order. I also need to get into
Just barely hits.
And then Gello, it sounded like you were coming up with something. So in response, I'll assume as soon as it appears, Nico gets you something, and right after it attacks, do you have something you want to do? And then we'll go back into the turn order.
Oh yeah, but first, Lilith needs to be added to the tracker.
Is Lilith? Yes.
I rolled a.
Did you click the token?
Yeah, I did. I rolled a d20, -1 initiative.
19.
See that?
Yeah,
How? I don't think I can add you
Yeah, you can. If you right click on the token.
on their token. Okay. Right click. Add turn.
Yep. And then
Hey!
you or her can adjust the number.
I got it. Learning something new every day. All right.
Thank you both.
Learn
Yes.
something new every day for the umpteenth time.
I was gonna say, I know I've told you that one before.
Fair enough. Gello.
You read low.
But you said we're not an initiative.
It's a surprise round. I'm gonna hit initiative. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have to do this to you," and I'm gonna throw the vodka at it.
All right.
It is currently not on fire. I have a means to do that,
Okay.
and I know other people do. I am making it a tad bit more flammable.
All right. All right. So you're just throwing a bottle at it, and it's big enough. You're not gonna miss. So bottle hits, and clear fluid is leaking out onto it. Yes. Yes.
That is the ideal solution.
Okay. So as we go to the initiative order, I have Gello with Lilith on deck, and then since some people are in an area, I'm gonna reveal more of an area. All right. What are you doing, Gello?
Well, you see, I was going to give you 6 seconds to think about your actions, but since you decided to attack Her Majesty, I'm going to kill you now. And I'm gonna start blasting as I show off Her Majesty the Duchess La Platine and fire away. There's a 1.
That hits.
And I'm gonna go ahead and it's a sap, so it has disadvantage on its next attack roll.
Okay.
And there's number 2.
Also a hit.
And we're gonna do it's not large or smaller, so we're gonna go slow. Its speed is reduced by 10 feet.
Okay.
And final shot. Oh, come the fuck on. I rolled a 10, a 9, and then an 8.
That also hits.
And I don't have anything else to turn that into, so it doesn't get any special debuff this time. And for bonus action, I don't got shit. So I'm just gonna... move back here, and that'll be my turn.
All right. Lilith. Big giant angry tree. You got another tree that's on fire, and a little bit of path opened up.
To the tree and said, we gave you a chance and you blew. And as she says that, she claps her hands and spirit guardians start to form around them, or form around her.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything within 15 feet.
All right. And it's because now I am in it. Pierce. Okay, wisdom saving throw for me. That's what I thought. Fail. So roll your damage.
My damage is 23 radiant damage.
Oh, it's up there. Okay.
Yep.
23. Oh, ouch. Okay. All right. Is that your turn?
Yeah, yep, that ends my turn.
You know what? I didn't fail. I didn't even put the tree on into combat. Whoops. All right. Anyway, as we move, Whisper.
Okay. 3 Eldritch Blasts coming his way, or its way.
All right, send it. See exactly what I'm talking about. Right there, 1914. Super skeptical.
I watched the die.
I know. I'm just for Flix's sake, because that's what I'm talking about. Roll 20 is weird with me. It does that. But yeah, all three of those hit.
That's 14, 14, and 11, so
28, 38.
49.
Yep.
Sorry, 39. Yeah.
I got you. All right.
And that's it for him for the moment.
Mary, with Nico on deck.
Mary is going to disengage and step back. Here. And then she is going to use sorcery points to cast her firebolt as a bonus action.
Okay. Solid hit.
And that's her turn.
All right. On to Nico. Looks to Urius. Urius just kind of shrugs. And he will... fly up and take an attack. He'll swing at it. So it seems like everyone else is doing. There you go. Ooh. As Nico hits at 1, dealing solid 20 points, misses, and he uses the momentum from the miss and just smashes it to pieces. It's still up, but after that crit, the treant is very much in shambles at this point. After everyone has taken all these punches, it is made very apparent after that last hit. As we move to Flix.
Sorry, what was that last bit? I kind of didn't hear that.
Our dragon youngling made a crit hit on the thing, and the thing looks very much in shambling pieces, past bloodied. So it is your turn.
Alright, well, I think the logical thing to do is to move up there and hit him with my flaming sword. My rod of lordly might.
Okay, swing away.
Second, I'm still getting used to how this inventory's set up. I need to get used to the fact that all of the forms of the rod are right there, and I just need to make sure I'm clicking the right one.
Yeah, I had to do that in order to actually use the different, functions. Because apparently it literally only has the, I think it's club or whatever for the basic one, as, the setup and beyond, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna just put in all the other ones.
Yep.
Why you would want to use anything other than the flaming sword, I don't know, but...
Alright, solid hit. As you take off just chunks of bark.
And then... that'll be the end of my turn.
You should have 3 attacks.
Oh, I have 3 attack. Yep. I'm not used to playing that.
Have you played a fighter before?
I'm first time playing one is in a Pathfinder campaign, and it's level 3, so I do not have multi-attacks.
Oh, all right.
Alright, 2 more rolls then. So there's...
That's also a hit.
And... $19. Nice. Oh no, that was an upside down.
Yeah, all right. How do you do that then? And that is my code word for saying you killed it.
He's gonna see how, like, beat up this thing looks, and, just to kind of give it a quick and a bit respectful death, he's just gonna strike upwards and decapitate it with the flame sword.
As its head leaves its body, goes to the ground and rolls, and the remnants of this beat up tree-looking creature fall to the ground as it collapses in death. You are out of combat for now. So I'll clear the turn order.
So obviously the right path to take is the one that the bad guy just came down, right?
Of course. It's also the path leading away from the fire.
Oh yeah.
Would you call something defending its home bad?
It's
Hey,
bad.
Tell me you wouldn't call something bad that just assaulted your queen?
Hey, Doug, I have a question.
Yeah.
So roughly, well, not really a question. I just want to confirm that my spirit guardians are gonna stay up for like another 9 minutes because I can hold concentration up to 10 minutes for it.
Okay.
If they're if they've thrown in with Heartswild, any of them are bad in my book. They've turned against order.
He's just gonna kind of nod and...
Now, I know this may come as a surprise, but I'm definitely one who's very pro-chaos. But I've had my own dealings with the Unseelie, which, it's kind of wild, but at the same time, not so much that y'all go by the same names. Maybe it's just Feywild's the Feywild no matter where you at. But yeah, their measure of chaos is a bit much.
Well, and I was gonna say that our order-in-law is kind of like your folks' chaos anyway, so...
You see, that's why I like you, Your Highness. You you know what it's like to be a cultured specimen.
She just nods, throws another bonfire down on the path that's burning, and starts heading in the direction that the tree ant came from. Let us go to the Sealy Court.
Break off like a finger or something of the tree and throw it in the bonfire.
Well, Flicker's definitely chaotic.
Then we continue down the path we want to continue down.
Man, this really sucks. Normally I love forests. This one just decided to be my enemy today.
I'm fairly ambivalent to them.
You could raise their property tax.
It's kind of hard to get coins from
what,
trees.
my mom and I's landlord did to us several times.
Well, you see, landlords are a parasite upon civilization, and I think all parasites should be, cut from the host body, so to speak. We back where I'm from, we had this one lady, and we're walking and talking. She was a loan shark, landlord. Quite the evil person, if I do say so myself. And while I was not there to witness her demise, I did hear that the Continental Corvette did rejoice that day.
Yeah, she must have been a pretty terrible person.
Oh yeah. Yeah, dressed in all white. Like, who the fuck does that?
I can't imagine anyone would even be willing to do deals with someone like that.
Did they have a purity kink or something?
I mean, probably. I'm not one to kink shame, so I'm not gonna go down that road. But there was something about it. It was weird.
Sounds like it.
Roswin will look at Flix and Ariana and go, and they say us Fae make bogus pacts.
Yeah, that old Sunky, rest her soul. And he does like a 7-pointed star across his chest, like he's Catholic, but it's not a cross. Yeah, she. At the start she wasn't all that bright, but she ended up making a pact with that old Tabaxi, and boy, this sucklet that made her intelligent. No, I don't mean like a Sunky was dumb, but I mean she had a certain type of smarts, but she was more worldly than book smart. But she made a pact with that Tabaxi, and she got that circlet, and she became damn near a genius. You know what I mean? And then, of course, it wasn't until after she put on the circlet she realized that maybe she probably shouldn't have done that. But things happen. Then there was Araminta. Apparently she owed so much fucking money to that lady. It's insane. I don't know what that girl deal was.
Lois looks over to Flicker. Our pack is not gonna be that chaotic, is it?
No. Don't worry about it. I already know what I need from you.
Okay, that's reassuring.
Is that truthful or deceptive, Flicker?
It's absolutely the truth. That doesn't mean that she knows what I need from her.
Lilith, do you believe what Flicker says?
Yes, I believe.
Okay.
Believe in the her that believes in you.
As two different paths branch off, and it really does look like no matter what you say, or want Flicker. You looks like you are headed east-ish for now. Because those are where the paths are.
When you say we're being like funneled a certain way, is it like it's there's like a deer path we're following, or what is impeding us from going any other way?
Kind of a combination of a deer path, and that's just how the forest is. I'm trying to be vague for a reason. I promise I'm not trying to railroad anything either.
So
If we were to go off the path into the woods, ignoring the path, jumping over the hedge, we could, because it's not like the trees are flush with each other.
we can bushwhack, right?
You can bushwhack, yeah. I mean, you already did it with fire.
I mean, I got plenty of experience bushwhacking.
So if you want to clear a path, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug.
I give
How
the
many,
closest person to me a wink.
How many thorns are there in the underbrush?
Make a perception check to look around and see. Take a quick second to observe your surroundings.
Well, that's
Mary
happening.
is gonna get out one of her torches
Again.
and
No,
light it to get rid of any underbrush they have to deal with when they start cutting through the woods.
As Lilith, you take a second post-battle to look around. You see that there are thorns, but it's intermixed. You have berries, holly bushes, all just kind of taking up space. You can, as you look, you can. There's enough space for a person to like squeeze through the area, right? So you just have to clear the brush. The trees, either through a combination of just moving and kind of guiding you through the forest, compared to where there's already established paths from animals. As you look down on the ground, that you can see there's a mix, right? Sometimes you're on a deer path, sometimes you are on what seems to be the most clear area to let you pass through the forest. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then Mary, as you get out your torch and start, you're just doing like little brush fires, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I can, if it's just a little thing, even from that, I'm gonna use my sword to just kind of flick it out of the way.
I have Druidcraft, so as like Mary's like burning stuff off, I'm like coming behind and Druidcrafting away the fires.
And I'll do the same thing, but be blowing with Druidcraft.
Hold on, we're talking over each other. I heard Lilith first.
As they're going through the underbrush, Lilith is picking berries, both edible and inedible / poisonous, and she separates them.
Okay, make a nature check to see how much you grab. See, as you do that, and then Flix, I heard you.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I was going to use my Druidcraft to come behind and use it to create a small puff of wind to blow the ash out of our way.
Okay. I like the clever uses of Druidcraft there. So, I assume you're going to align yourselves with Mary. So I see Mary's taking the lead, taking the torch, burning enough, and then hacking it out of the way, followed by Flicker, who is using Druidcraft to put the fire out, or any others that they can, followed then by Flix, burning the ash out of the way. And it's kind of like this weird, fire drill, kind of, as you are just drilling your way through.
I was going to say, I'm going to assist Captain Flix with the efforts of blowing the ash out of our way. And when I do, you see the scar on my chest that burns red hot and sizzles a bit. And yes, it did come full circle. We are the drill that will pierce the heavens, and the heavens being this forest.
All right. So now that you have this little fire drill mechanic worked out, which direction are you wanting to head?
West.
Yeah, southwest. Like, if we can be close to the lake, but like far enough into the woods that like the people on the other side of the lake don't see us going through the woods, that'd be awesome. And then they'll just have to deal with the fire that we left behind. I don't know.
Okay. So, as make all right, just because of how the map's laid out, you're gonna be going the direction and just won't be adequately represented on the map because you're kind of on an edge. And what I will do, I'll assume, hold on. So if I try this, so that kind of direction, and then you're just going to go like drill straight through. Do I understand that correctly? I get your.
If that direction is the correct direction to the southwest, because if the top is north, then that would be southeast. But if you're saying it is southwest, then that's fine by us.
Okay. Yeah, just given I don't have a large enough map.
We got you, Doug. We understand. Theater of the mind, baby.
Gotcha. All right. So, and you just want to go straight that direction.
Yes.
Okay. Straight it is.
Home again, jiggity jig.
All right. Go ahead and move your tokens. I'm going to reveal a little bit more. Yeah, I'm going to make it wide enough so that I can explain post-game what was going on. And yes, I am aware that Spirit Gardens is still going on.
Would it still be going at this point?
I mean, I know it's taking like in-game time versus like the actual time, so actual time's taking a lot longer. It's only been maybe a minute or two since, well, you're hacking through stuff. So I'll probably say, as you're hacking through this, you're coming up probably towards your last minute or two. As the party gets to this one particular area, it immediately begins to open up. As you see this it looks like a tunnel just full of vines. You see vines going, you can't tell if they're coming out of it or into it, hard to tell. So you can go around either direction, and you see what looks to be already the start of a clear path towards that side. And I'm just going to reveal a little bit more of the perimeter, so I know the grid alignment is a little wonky with this.
That's bait.
Does this look like something that any of the fairies might recognize?
Ooh. When you say recognize,
Like, would I have any idea what's going on here? Like, what the vines are, or like, if this is the burrow of something, what it might be?
you might. You can roll an initiative check or history or arcana, depending on what your source or how your logic works on this aspect.
I'm gonna go off of what she might have researched and do history. And rolling that one.
I mean, there's a lot of large plants out there.
I'll attempt a history roll. Nat 20.
You're familiar with... You've heard stories or read stories of plants that grow to such an enormous size that they have, like, forests will grow around them, almost they're sentient-like.
Okay. So it's like essentially a creature made of vines?
Could be. Or it could just be a plant.
Heard stories of living masses of vines. I couldn't be sure whether or not it's a creature or just a plant, but it's definitely alive.
Is there any type of small animal nearby that we can capture?
I'm curious to see where this is going. Like, what? Okay, make a perception check. And we're thinking like rabbit, chicken, bird, squirrel, groundhog.
Yeah, the small animals that she can pick up and throw.
The Fey equivalent, so a sentient being who's probably gonna be like, "Oh, hey guys," and they get thrown into the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, it was established that animals talk here.
How about
even better?
How about we don't mess with it and we just go around? And this is coming from someone who loves to experiment.
Yeah, I remember you throwing that guy into that. Should just trail off.
Whisper Cough says
The Tarrasque was a different. The Tarrasque was a different matter. Let's just go around and continue, so that we can see what's going on with.
Well,
Flicker's
we don't have any elves available that we don't know to throw in either. So there's that.
I start fanning myself.
Was infested with a mind flare tadpole.
How about a rock?
How about we don't?
I look towards the sky. Do I see any rocks?
we go around and forget this thing. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going around. No more of this.
Okay.
Just so it's aware, I have my wings on because I've been doing a little hovering, so I'm moving around.
You can take them off.
That's horrific.
That is horrific.
Is it like a pop socket type of situation? You just pop them in and then pop them out, or do they like fold up in there? How's that work?
Hey, Doug. Roughly, how long have we been walking?
I was going to say, by this point, your spirit guardians have probably fizzled out. And then in regards to your reception check, there's not much in this area. Right, so you look around. I mean, there's some insects. There's no rabbit or squirrel that you see squirreling around, which may be an indication. Lack of small animals.
Also, reminder, everyone except for Urius, Mary, Flicker, Whisper, and Nico have disadvantage on skill checks.
Yeah.
So if anyone should have re-rolled something, good catch. As you all pass through, I want everyone to make a perception check. And then depending on what people roll, I will send you a message on Discord. Let's see. Naked. So Gello, I have you at 9, Flicks at 4, Ariana at 11, Flicker at 20, Mary at 15, Whisper 15, Lilith 21. Am I missing anyone?
I think
Urius is-
Lilith should be at disadvantage.
Yeah.
Alright, should I roll that again then?
Yeah, go ahead and
And
roll.
then take the lower.
Alright. Nope, no, that's...
Yeah, because remember you're exhausted.
Yep.
And Daniel, we're hearing you clear your throat.
Sorry.
Alright, I'm going to send certain people a message. Alright, one message sent. And then... Okay. Okay, I sent the messages to those that made the DC via Discord.
Flicker is gonna look at the hole and then like go, did anybody else hear that?
Hey, I heard that I could not understand.
What did you hear, Flicker?
It said soon.
Well, that's a great sign to keep going, isn't it?
Totally not ominous.
Flicker is now visibly on edge.
You can sit on my shoulder if you want, Flicker. If that will comfort you.
I'm okay. I'm okay. Just little bit unsettling to hear from a hole in the ground.
Well, we got a lot of eyes scanning the forest, so we will be safe.
So I assume the party is going to continue with this fire drill boring through the forest.
Yep. Extra reason to not stop now.
And as Mary, you're the first one out. Please mute if you're not. You get background noise, please. As don't let me. But you make it to the edge of the lake. Right as you pop out there, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
But you're on the beachfront now. And as you look, there's, as far as you can tell, no living creature, just forest to your back. The shrubbery and the grass starts to transition to rough, then smooth sand, followed by the pink, purplish waters of the lake that you saw previously. And as the party joins you, I'll assume some of those are, as I already mentioned, very unsettled about what they heard.
Did the voice sound at all familiar?
No. Sounded different. Or unknown to you. But you're quite confident you have not heard it before.
Okay. Just making sure that it wasn't a certain particular someone talking to me through a hole in the woods.
Nope.
It's the man in the wall. Wait, wrong game.
So, as you've traversed... Go ahead, Gallo.
No, that's it. I was just making those noises.
Okay. As you traverse... So, let's see. You would have went through the night, into the morning, through here. This probably took you up until early afternoon. Now, as you're back on track, or assuming on track is where you wanted, you can see the lake start to dip, now going all straight south, as you've gone far enough over that now you basically just need to follow the edge, or at least keep going south, and you'll run into the destination that you want.
That's what we do.
With that, Are you going to take time to recalibrate, to rest, or are you going to continue to push?
You think, Flicker?
Well, we aren't going to exert ourselves too much more as long as we make sure to rest by the next evening. So, I think that it wouldn't hurt to push now, but it could pay to rest as we get close to the Sealy Court. Somebody can throw a hut down, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Two of us can do a hut. I can, and so can Urius.
We definitely need to discuss a plan of sorts.
How close are we to the court?
Uh, 8-10 hours walk, hike.
So should we make sure to get within like 2 to 4 hours of the court and then rest for the night and then march the rest of the way the next morning refreshed?
Maybe go till sunset, see how close we get, and then rest. Because I don't necessarily want to go through the night, but I would like to see how close we can get with going till the sun sets.
Well, if he said it's the afternoon or late afternoon or whatever, early evening,
Mm-hmm.
then if we go for 4 hours, I'd imagine that would put us around sunset, and then there's 4 hours left to go if it was an 8-hour hike from where we are.
Well, then we're of an accord.
I think that's the plan, Doug.
Okay. As the party continues to press, going to the evening. Now, how are you hiking, marching down? Are you in some sort of line, just a gaggle, stealthily, laissez-faire?
Oh, I'm always laissez-faire.
I feel like we're far enough out that we're not going to get jumped by any sort of organized group from Hearts Wild. So I feel like we can keep it casual until we start like closing in tomorrow.
Maybe casual, but still staying off the main thoroughfare or avoiding people if possible.
Yeah, like staying on guard, like being perceptive, but like not necessarily like full on skulking through the woods slowly.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we can always have like 2 people looking out front, 2 people keeping an eye on the back, and then like people in the middle are focused on either scanning left and right.
That might be a bit much, but we can rely on our passive perceptions to keep an eye out, because I know that Urius and I both have pretty high passives. And Whisper Joe might as well.
And Nico isn't terrible either. I think he's sitting at 20. Yeah, 20. But he also is. Go ahead. Whisper, I think.
I thought you said me for my perception. My perception is horrible, so.
Okay. Yeah, then Urius and I can definitely rely on our passives as we go along.
Glad to hear that worked out.
I mean, my investigation's okay, but my perception's horrible.
See, I see.
Team bad at perception. Have to mooch off of our good friend.
I have a +2.
I mean, Nico's isn't bad. He just might squirrel out or focus on the wrong thing.
Nico's a child.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, he's really good. It's gonna be hit and miss there. Be like, oh, hey, look at the shiny thing.
There's probably a lot of shiny things here too.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually have a little map set up for the lake where I assume we might get to. So I'll do a map transition as so I'm going to have the party coming in from the very top left-hand corner here, indicating that you are moving south.
I did not see a ping, but I assume this is the corner.
Yes, that
You
is the
did
corner.
right.
You practically hit where I was pinging.
I didn't see a ping.
Well, no, I know. I understand that. Just coincidence that literally right where I pinged, you dropped your token. So like, yeah, that's convenient.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm gonna try and do better at this description. As the party moves towards the south, with the sun starting to set, you notice as you get closer to where you are now, it starts to smell. It goes from a nice lake to starts to smell like a swamp and decayed. As you see a bunch of these frog-like humanoids, and they're not as tall, right? So they're not, probably maybe Nico-sized, right? Halfling-ish, maybe smaller. I know the fairies will almost immediately know what these are. And all you hear are these croaking noises. Now, this is where I'm unsure of Mary's item. It's a language specific to them. It's not Sylvan.
Okay. So my item does have specific languages.
Okay.
What?
I'll take a gander here in a minute. I'm
Okay.
pulling it up. I'm letting my computer's very slow. Lots of tabs open.
I can take a pretty good guess that it's not on the list, but it doesn't hurt to look.
It probably isn't, but you know, weirder things have happened.
Yeah.
And so the back row, so I will indicate here.
Mhm.
So the green ones, they are all have very tattered clothing, and you can see they're holding up a very crude, simple spear. Either made out of stone or broken piece of pottery. Maybe one has what looks to be a rusty chunk of metal. Doesn't look like it's been forged at all. It is definitely a scrap-made weapon. The two here, so helping here and here, they're comparatively a lot bigger to these green ones. Not as big as you all, though. A little bit more muscle, a little bit more aggressive. And again, they also hold a crude spear. They only wear, though, simple leather and maybe like a loincloth, while the ones here in green just look like they're wearing a t-shirt, just a tattered t-shirt. The one here in the center seems to be some sort of authority figure, as has a little bit more colorful regalia, what looks to be a wooden staff with baubles and It looks magical, but it looks very crude. You're unsure if it's like a real magic wand or staff, or if it just looks like one. And they all seem to be communing with a giant frog here at the lake. And then if you want, you can make a perception check, and depending on what people roll, I will tell you if you notice anything more than what I've already stated.
Disadvantage, Lilith.
Back to the.
In regards to Mary, the language is not on there.
Okay. I figured it wasn't.
Ooh, okay. I will send some messages.
They're totally speaking halfling, right?
Yeah. I just, for some reason, don't have halfling on my necklace, definitely.
Well, Doug also said that the fairies would recognize what these are, but then didn't mention what they are.
They're just a bunch of halflings dressed as frogs.
I will. I'll send a message here in a minute to you all. I want to get through the description first.
As a person, I have an idea because I know of a frog creature. But as a player or GM, for that matter, I've never actually seen them. So
Okay, one message sent via Discord. Second message sent. And then I will send the fairy creatures, the fairy players, a message on Discord as well. All right, messages are sent via Discord.
I don't like it. Let's go around. That big thing is glowing.
I agree. Since they're praying to it, they're distracted. I say, snake around.
I agree.
Okay. If you are sneaking around, please make your stealth rolls.
Oh shit.
Said you're sneaking, and you're somewhat in the open.
Yeah.
So yes.
I realize some people are going to be rolling at disadvantage.
I was rolling at disadvantage with or without this exhaustion. I have heavy plate armor.
Listen, Kello don't sneak. Even when he tries.
Wow, we are doing terribly.
Clank.
Flicker is just glaring at the party.
We're gonna sneak, and then everyone just proceeds to make as much noise as possible.
Flicks motions at his armor.
To be fair, I am like in the water. Like not swimming, I'm walking in the water, so
Slosh, slosh, slosh.
Just splash,
Listen.
splash.
it's been a while since I've had a dip and your boy's starting to dry out.
I see how it is. You like the water with that stank on it.
It smell like home.
My home smells like perfume.
My home smells like the natural odors of
Why am I tripping
death
over your
and
sword?
poor people.
All right. So as you all proceed to make, or attempt to make, stealth rolls, not many of you pass. I got one, absolutely nailed it, and then everyone just proceeds to let everyone know where they are. Gillo, specifically, as you just step on a nice, crunchy branch as you break into the water. The frog-like creatures just stop what they're doing, and they all just look at you. Weapons aren't at the ready, but they're just staring at you now, the whole party.
I will
Keep
wave
on moving
friendly.
around.
So, move your tokens as appropriate. You can move up to your movement speed, or if you're gonna dash, move your, double your move there.
Everyone, just move slowly. Maybe if we don't threaten them, they won't feel threatened.
Act natural.
He got a little too close to him.
Maybe sing?
Don't sing.
Definitely don't do that. I mean, but if I'm being honest, I think we can take them.
Well, we'll worry about that if they throw hands first.
I mean, since stealth has been broken, I'm not slowing down.
Well, from what I've heard of these creatures, because I imagine I've never had experience firsthand, they're probably just going to protect themselves. So maybe if we don't make them feel like they need to do that.
Would Flix have any knowledge about them? Would he have encountered them in combat in any way?
Ooh, good question. Yes. Roll a history with advantage. Try and recall.
So a regular roll?
Yeah, since you're...
Nice. A normal roll, let's get it. $19!
So Flix will recall that these creatures like to attack caravans. They are bullies. They don't care how big or how at a disadvantage they may be. They are most likely going to attack. Now, they're very weak, but in their weakness and in their lack of any sort of either organized army or modern weapons, they make up for just sheer numbers. The problem with them is they're very good at hiding and camouflaged. So yes, you can see these ones now, but you have no idea where the rest of them are, and that's how they like to operate.
Good thing we're not.
In my experience, I don't think they care whether or not we're carrying a caravan. They're just going to care that we're here. And now that they've seen us, we have scant time before the ones that we can't see are going to become visible. They're weak, but we can take them as long as we don't let them surround us.
I will also offer that you, because of what you rolled, they're usually after what they would consider treasure, either shiny things, very, very similar to a certain fairy character, like gold. So we could try and distract them, right? Because in their society, they are trying to rise to the top and gain favor. And that's how they do it.
Oh.
It is with trinkets and treasure. So it is possible to distract them instead of getting into combat. If that's what the party wants to do, or if someone's just going to go in guns blazing, I mean, you can do that too.
That sounded like a real pointed statement.
Is it wrong?
I will take out my... So in my inventory, I have a gold chain I've been carrying around that is unidentified magical item. And I'm going to do like you do when you play fetch with a dog. And I'm going to hold it out and shake it and then chuck it into the water.
Okay, ping where in the water. Okay. So as soon as you pull it out, you hear this one do it sounds like a questionable croak. Just one. Again, it's their language that currently no one understands. And as you throw it in there, they all just swarm into it, trying to get it.
Great. Let's continue on our way.
Now's the time to move.
So
Exactly.
they all go into there. However, the giant bullfrog that is there at the water just doesn't react. Just curiously, it rotates. And I've used that word for a reason. It just rotates. Looks at you, kind of then shifts its gaze at the Bullywogs, and very, very subtle, what you think is like a head nod towards the party.
I will give it a thumbs up as I begin to book it in the direction we're supposed to be going.
I follow Flicker.
Okay. So we're going to have you all drag your tokens. We'll be mostly theory of the mind now at this point, up until the end, where you all pass as you, and just as I'm going to actually pull them all out. So as you get to this point, right, as you're dashing your way through, you begin to see more and more, because they're making so much noise, and you hear more and more croaking from them in excitement or frustration that they can't find the gold chain. I assume some of you may look back as you're running just to make sure you're not being tailed. You see what you think one has the gold chain, but then it gets swarmed by the others, and someone else comes up top with it, shaking it. More and more of these creatures start appearing from either under fallen logs or under a pile of leaves that you could have just passed. It's just a random pile that maybe it's their home. As they all begin running, they completely ignore you and just notice everyone is in the water, so they don't know what's going on, but that seems to be the place, and so they all jump in. And you see the water that goes from mostly clear, that clear purplish blue, to now it starts to get muddied and just grimy and dirty as more and more of these things enter the waterway. And with that, you pass through the area unmolested.
I really didn't want to get eaten by a frog today. That worked out a lot better than I thought it was going to, though.
I mean, don't knock it till you try. It's not usually too bad of an experience, if you ask me.
I don't know if I should be concerned how you know that.
Listen, you don't make it to my stature without getting eaten by a frog or 12.
Is that your type? Frogs?
Type?
Well, you've been eaten.
Yeah.
As you pass through, continuing to your run, the sun has maybe an hour left before it sets. What is the party wanting to do? As you've covered a fair amount of ground in the very, very distance, you can make out what looks to be the top of a tower at the very edge of the horizon.
So, how far away would you say?
I mean, you're visually within distance. You can just start to make out the top of the tower. So maybe a couple more hours walking.
So we should turn around and go back a couple more hours.
No.
We should
We're definitely too close.
Well, we should definitely make sure that wherever we're setting up camp, we have cover so that we're not in line of sight of anyone.
And definitely make use of those tiny huts we talked about.
If we can see that tower, they can see us.
Are we like out in the field or are we like under trees?
No, you you already passed this map. This was just a small clearing where there's a stream or a river flowing lake. As you've moved through this, you have gone into a more deciduous type forest to your, let's see, because you're going south, so that'd be on the western side, because you're facing the capital. The capital is south, so positionally on your right would be the west, so that's all forest. And then you have the beach area or the lakefront where it's a mix of either sand or just mud and dirt where the water meets. So no, there's plenty of cover. You could very easily duck, probably just jump to your right and you'll be in cover.
Is there any like cliffy hills, I guess, that has like the one side completely defended or covered? Or maybe like
No.
a circle or like a half circle?
As you, it's more the court is more in a depression instead of built on top of a hill. So as you're going down into it.
Okay.
Well, if we have the high ground, we should definitely rest.
I think we're too close. At this distance, they're definitely going to be having patrols out and about.
You're still. Well, I mean, you as I said, you can barely make out the top of the tower.
And the tiny
recognize it.
The tiny huts, you can't see into them, correct?
Correct.
I don't believe so. Yes.
Also,
you can see out of them; they cannot be peeked into.
It is worth noting that the towers would be very big on this place, so I'd imagine we can see it from fairly far away.
Yeah. Until the spell ends, you command the interior to become dimly lit or dark. The dome is opaque from the outside of any color you choose, but it's transparent from the inside. So we could make it, match the colors of the trees around us.
Yeah, one of those colors. And then whenever a patrol comes by and they see a green and or brown dome, they're going to be suspicious and start. Well, first they'd probably be alerting others to a suspicious dome, and then we will be accosted in the night before we have even had a chance to plan what we're going to do once we actually reach the court.
The dome is impenetrable.
Yeah, until someone casts detect or dispel magic on it. I might not be magically inclined, but as your storybook has plainly laid out, I have been around some of the smartest wizards to ever have graced the Continental Corvair.
Well, I don't think that it's going to hurt too much either way if we backtrack into the woods a bit, just to be on the safe side. So
I would rather not backtrack too much, though, and lose that much time.
If you want to be really smart about it, you can always, toss dirt on it and just make it look like it's a hill, a small little hill.
But you gotta think about it. These people who are going to be patrolling, they've seen these areas before. They know what's out here. They're going to be looking for suspicious stuff. They come out here and they see something that hasn't been there before. Wouldn't that make you suspicious?
well, and on top of that, they'd have some level of information that we're already on the way, considering that they've sent people after us now. And we were thrown through a portal to here, so the carefuler we are, the better.
If that's what you want to do, Flicker, I'll follow you.
Yeah, let's just stay away from where the Bullywogs were.
You're fairly well past them at this point. As you smell and look around, you don't smell decay or a swamp, more just standard lake. Insects flying about. You can hear birds, animals scurrying about.
I imagine, considering I grew up in the Sealy Court, that I would kind of know the surrounding area to some degree, especially with my character's love of the forest. So I would try and find a place that I would know would be outside of, like, a patrol range, at least from when my family was in charge.
Okay. Make... Trying to think how I want this to... It's like a combination... Not necessarily insight, more like recalling. So more like a history recall, and then depending on how you it'd be like a nature check to orient yourself in the direction. Does that make sense? You're trying to recall from an uncommon position that you're in, right? So I would think you're more used to having the castle to your back and then headed out, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But now you're kind of in possibly an unknown area or a area you just cut through, never spent as much time in, just because of sheer distance, right? Unless you spent particular time in a particular area at all.
So like
yeah,
history and then survival.
kind of. So history is more for the recall. Like, all right, you know the lake. Okay, you know where there is a kind of like a sheer, not, let's see, a sheer cliff necessarily, like a rocky overhang that provides cover and it blocks the line of sight of the castle. So now roll your survival check to kind of reorient yourself with that knowledge compared to your current position. Okay, so you are currently positioned. I'm going to make it so that you're looking straight south with you're fairly confident the castle at the very tips of the tower. That's what's peeking out over the treetops. So that's south to not what's reflected on the map, but you would have the west to your right. You know you need to go southwest for maybe an hour, and you'll see this black, white, rocky outcrop, and right below there is kind of like a carved out area that you can spend a night in. No one really goes over there, just a giant thing of rocks. Does that help you, Flicker?
Yeah, so I'll say I know a place that they wouldn't be patrolling. Some place that I went to hide from my family sometimes when I was growing up. I'm pretty sure even Flix doesn't know about it. And then I'll like zip off in the direction of it.
And I follow.
I do as well.
And me.
Lilith, any objection? Or Gillo?
No, I follow.
Objection.
As you all follow for about another hour-ish, you do get to see the castle starts to come closer, comparatively. You're able to make out the top, the very top of the tallest tower. This pink, purplish, just given how the light hits the shingles of the tower ceiling, the tower roof. And it has this white stone makeup. Then gets cut off by the trees as you see Flicker kind of dart more towards the southwestern direction in a curved instead of a straight line. So now as you all move through the forest, noting that it starts to become not as thick, not as much vegetation compared to where you just were. More and more oak trees, maple trees, very few pine trees or coniferous trees. And Flicker will stop out in this opening and you see this almost black basalt rock with white intrusions of limestone all through it. And she'll stop, make sure that she'll look, see you all following, kind of duck down and under this big boulder of a rock. And as you all follow Flicker down, you'll see that there's this area carved out. You can tell that it's been used many a times. The ground has been hardened either by just people walking back and forth through that area. You can kind of tell there used to be a campfire circle. It's been a while, so the rocks aren't as close anymore, but you can definitely tell that there used to be a stone campfire circle there. Flicker, is there anything else in this particular area you want to point out? Any drawings or paintings or messages?
Yeah, there's probably like a bunch of like drawings on the wall. I imagine there's like a little drawing of like Flicker with a crown on her head, like on a throne, and like a few other fairies that were like her like childhood friends. There's like jars all over the place that once held like preserves. There might be like a plate with like very, very old, maybe moldy cookies on it. And Flicker will like look around as she comes in and go, wow, it's been a long time. Me and Flicker used to come here all the time.
Just to double check, I only know you as Rosewind, right?
I mean, I'm sure the part, like, I've mostly heard the party refer to me as Flicker, so you might actually know me more as Flicker than Rosewind, although I'm pretty sure I've stated it since you've joined us, so you might know that's my actual name. I'm not sure, though.
Yeah, whenever we formally introduced ourselves, it was as a Princess Rosewind.
Ah, then yes.
Yellow does not realize that is anything of note and does not say anything. He's gonna start poking at the cookies.
Roswin will like look at everybody, kind of like look at the ceiling, and then she's gonna like quickly grab one of the jars sitting around that's empty, and like go outside and start catching fireflies.
When we decide to set up camp, I'm going to do 2 alarm spells.
before we
Okay.
start getting ready for the evening, we need to make a plan. Netflix, Ariana, while Her Highness is busying herself. You two know the area. Does Ariana, get a magical individual? Are you able to create an image or something like that would create like a three-dimensional like a object in their hand that would float and rotate? Are you able to do something like that? Like a the illusionary effect.
Who are you asking?
Ariana.
I don't know anything like that. I know Fairy Fire. I think Flicker knows prestidigitation.
Well, does anyone else know anything like that? I don't remember the name of the spell at the moment, but anybody? No? Cool.
Nope.
I would think Urius might.
Let me check his sheets. But Nico, looking at Gallo, just shakes his head no, like and then like picks up his book and like shrugs his shoulder, like maybe, but not currently.
That's all right, buddy. And don't forget, before we hunker down for the evening, we're gonna get started on your lessons this evening. I'm gonna do tonight we're gonna do a brief history of. I mean, it may not be too much related to. And I start gesturing just here, but at least a brief history of the dragons from where I'm from. Sorry about that, Nico. I didn't mean to hit you in the nose.
Nico, at the talk of you giving him insight into dragons in your realm, gets super excited and does like tappy taps with his paws, and will just excitedly come sit next to you, just very eager to listen.
But I mean, I'm not an architect by any means, but I can draw a decent enough layout. If one of you can give me a description of the capital, areas that, to the best of your knowledge, were secured during your time here, or where you think they might be secured, back doors, as it were, that, areas that are not, to the best of your knowledge, are not looked at very frequently, as they're not used by normal means.
Would I have to roll for information on that?
Yes, being a captain of the guard, you would know. Flicker would know. Ariana is a maybe. And I'm also currently looking through yours' spell sheet in terms of trying to hide anything. One version, I don't see anything.
No, it's not hide something. It's
Or use
gonna be a
illusionary
cantrip.
magic.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the actual spell, but it's like It's not minor image.
Mirror image or minor illusion? I
Minor
get the
illusion,
idea
I
of
think.
I get the idea of what you're looking for. I just don't see it. It's more
Yeah, I think it's
all
minor illusion.
offensive.
It's like, yeah, I think the other Urius would have it.
Weirdly, I don't see it. The only cantrips I can see: Eldritch Blast, Flame Blade, Prestidigitation, Toll the Dead.
That's evil
Cantrip-wise.
Urius. Or current Urius.
The other Bardy one.
But I mean, if the current Urius doesn't have it, then it's
I don't
alright.
see it. I'm going to check again here real quick.
They just would have made things a lot simpler.
Nope. Firebolt, Prestidigitation, True Strike, Vicious Mockery. Don't see anything. I mean, Invisibility.
Were you look like I assume I overheard this that I was back with my fireflies. Were you looking to like draw out a plan? Or like
Well, if someone had Dispel, I'm talking about, then it would have made. We would have had a three-dimensional layout of the castle or the court or whatever it is. I personally have not seen it.
I will
But,
pull out my emerald pen, which allows you to draw in the air. I have a magical pen that lets you draw on anything, including the air itself. If that helps.
Well, I will do my best, though I will need far more specific numbers, as in heights and distances.
Why don't I draw it? Since Flix would probably have the better knowledge of it.
That would make sense.
And here you go.
So then you can roll a history to recall the details you know, and then performance on how well you draw this thing.
For the history, would I be rolling that just a normal roll again, or is that back at disadvantage?
No, normal, because you, being in the military, you know more, probably a little bit more than most.
9. I know 9.
It's been a while. I mean, yeah.
It's been a while. So,
Let's see, how long do you draw this?
and performance.
Can I like be working over his shoulder and like guiding him through like, well, this would be like this, at least for like the basic details, probably not like the more military things.
That's what I was kind of picturing. Like, once he starts drawing, you're like, okay, hey, you forgot that, or hey, don't forget this. Like, as he's drawing.
Okay, then let me do a performance at disadvantage. This is going to be fun. A nat 1 and a nat 20.
All right, so I mean, your first.
There's a
line,
structure.
So as you start drawing, I kind of imagine like you nail like this just perfect straight line, right? And it seems to be like you're gonna start like making the first tower.
Can I?
And then
I'm falling
Yeah.
asleep.
And then like everything starts getting really like curvy. You don't connect anything, and it just looks very exaggerated. To like, I mean, it's.
I'm drawing my flight path, like my walking path through the castle, not the actual building.
I severed Bob's that roll.
What's how?
That they would still have to take the lower roll, and that would still be a nat 1.
But he has to.
He has to re-roll it. I see what he's doing. But yeah, you know
Like,
what?
you're
When I
talking-
said, like,
You're like, that's really bad. And then he just
like
tries
either
again.
way, it's still a 1, I think, because
Yeah, it's their last roll versus another roll, and then they take the lower roll. So
Oh,
it still
yeah.
would be fun. It'd be funny though if you still did it.
Clever use of silver barbs. I would not have thought of that. Because I always think that as a reactive spell for combat. But clever use.
I plan on using it for myself.
Perhaps I should draw the capital.
So you just let Flakes like do his thing. You're just like, okay, you know what? Hey, let me give it a try. Right? Like,
Why do I? Why do I feel like we're looking at like a children's drawing?
It is. Like at first you thought it was going well. Again, perfect straight line. Oh, okay, yeah, this is gonna be okay. And then it's like, oh no, it's like you just see this train wreck like slowly happening. You're like, oh, this is just getting worse as time goes on. You're like, okay. You just kind of try to figure out how to.
I'm gonna give Flicker guidance when they go to redraw.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so Flicker, you are guided by Mary's spell as you feel the magical energy get absorbed as you take on your pen back and begin to draw. So let's see how well you do.
She just gently touches the back of your back and go, I believe in you.
I believe in me too.
And you can add D4.
There's a GIF I need to post in that moment.
What do I need to roll?
Are you you're gonna the same thing, history then performance, right? So history to recall information, performance on how well you draw it.
I don't have the advantage on the history, do I?
No, you would too. You spent a lot of time in the castle. Just again, different. I would say your drawings would be different, right? His may be more military, like he might have probably called out certain aspects you might not have. And there may be secret passages that both of you don't know about. One for the military, one for you all. So yeah, you recall quite a bit of information on the castle layout. So let's see how well you draw it. All right, so 19, perfect. So now, when you do another drawing, does the first drawing with your pen, does it stay or does it how does it work? Does it disappear at some point?
It works like the illusory script spell. So like I'd imagine that when he hands it over to me, like it's not an attune item, but like I'd imagine that the magic like quote unquote attunes with me, and it would disappear. But I'll pretend like I'm working off of what Flix drew to like not hurt his feelings. Like I see what you were going for.
As I see it, so you go off of that original like perfect line as everything starts to fade, and just use that one perfect line to make a completely new drawing. Make it kind of like draw over in a way some parts of it and start adding new. So as you draw, call out each of the towers. You're able to, lay out the royal palace and its floors. You move down towards the wall and the more common areas. You get the entranceway and one or two tunnels maybe that Flix just like looks at and like, I don't remember that being a thing. And you may not have realized at the time, Flicker, that it's probably a secret passage that only your family used. So you have this fantastic drawing. Understanding though, it's the limitations of an aerial pen, right? You just can't get certain aspects in this format, but you have enough that everyone can be familiar with the layout. You get most of the streets, not all of it. Again, it's a lot of detail to try and cram in. At this point, you're just going for big, basic, blocky concepts. to get everyone familiar with where stuff is at. And you call out all the major routes, right? So, hey, guards routinely patrol this way, denote all those paths.
And then as soon as she gets all of the actual pertinent details down, she starts drawing little butterflies in the air around it.
All right, so the team has this, pretty good depiction of the castle, augmented with some butterfly backgrounds. Now what? What was the plan with this?
All right, now, Captain Flicks, I need you to point out all of the places where you believe would be heavily guarded.
Flicks, you can roll normal, right? Because it'd be advantage given your station. See how much information you remember on this particular aspect. All right. So you can point out where the armory would be, where you would call it the central, so where all the guards and soldiers would meet up, get their probably starting orders for the day, where all the lieutenants, sergeants would meet, captains. You call out where there's like a captain's area, so you have to be that rank to even be in there. The vault, the treasury vault, that is middle. It's in the middle, in the basement, right below where the royal palace would be. And there is one entrance in there. And in order to get into there, you note all these guard posts and all these checkpoints almost. It's one way in, one way out. There's no other, to your knowledge, there is no other way into that area. Trying to think. Barracks? Barracks where soldiers would sleep?
Yes.
Trying to think what else.
There'd be probably be a barrack, a mess hall, a training grounds. There would probably be like a secondary armory just for repairs, just for like basic little repairs.
Yeah, like what the blacksmiths would be, just for, and all the other military, I don't know what you'd call them. Not specialties per se. So they would have their own blacksmiths, leather workers, armorers, maybe even middle class wizard sorcerer to help with magical repairs. Wouldn't be like Grand High Wizard, whatever the equivalent of that would be in the fairy realm. They'd probably be off on their own or part of the royal court.
Then I'd probably an infirmary.
Yep. Aid station in the nurses area. So you call out all the military stuff. Roll a d6. So you then add this one very peculiar path that you always used to use, and it's a path that goes from a guard post within the royal palace right near where the royal family would sleep, and this particular path cuts through a wall, right? So it goes like almost in between the castle wall, down through the basement, through an abandoned building, and lets out into the public area, into like where all the market would be. To you, it seems like it's like you think it's a well-known fact. I think to everyone else, that's a unknown, secretish area. And Flicker and Ariana probably didn't know about it, and they're just kind of looking at you like, "There's a path there."
I thought it was a captain's path.
It might be. I don't think
I
he
only ever
told you
saw
what it
me.
is.
I only ever saw me on that path, and I'm the captain.
That tracks, I suppose.
Now what?
Well, I'm looking at this, and do I see any areas to get into the castle where we can completely bypass any guards?
So for that question, I'll give the opportunity for all three of the fairies, so Flicker, Ariana, and Flix, to make a history roll.
Isn't that what
And-
we just did?
You did, but I didn't get Ariana this, and this is for your specific question. So like that's after the fact, so it gives them another chance to really.
Well, I was asking you.
Oh, I'm gonna have the fairies see if the fairies can come up with anything else, just off of their. See if we can get Ariana into this. And that one is for Flicker, right? Guidance, got it.
Yeah, Flicker's got guidance.
So 16, 19, 15. All right. So I would say each of you then will be able to add another route. As now that you're back home, everything's kind of coming back into memory. You sit, think, look at the drawing. Flicker, you're able to add. Now, Gello, you said a path. You're just trying to bypass all the guards, right? Is that the idea, or as many guards as you can, right?
Yeah, what I'm looking for is the shortest path into the castle where we can do what we need to do and bypass as many of the guards getting there as possible and as quietly as possible.
Okay.
You said that the castle is like in, like a valley, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like just in the center of it, or is it like built into a cliff face or something?
So perhaps instead of me just trying to describe this, perhaps I will do this instead. So, do I show you the castle now, or do I wait?
If you
That's
have
where
an
I'm kinda-
image you're using for it, that would maybe
I
help.
do. I do have an image.
I mean-
I was
They drew it out so we can see it.
okay. So, again, this is just for knowledge's sake. I'm going to drag everyone to an image, map, whatever you want to call it, and I'll let your eyes. So
since this is built on some sort of rocky outcrop, is it a safe bet that there is some sort of like drainage or sewer or undercroft?
yes. So in this particular setup, there's multiple drainage systems and aqueducts. You would also know that of at least one passage that would take you through a cave, through the jail dungeon-ish area, but it's more towards like the very back, and that will take you to your room particularly. Flix would recall there is a path right out front of the front gates towards. So as you're looking at the image, I'll just use pings. So this being kind of where the front gate is, down here, like below on a, it's not like a hidden path, like it's a worn path, but there is a false wall that you can open up, and that will have a path, and that goes straight into the court, like where the throne room. Risky being that there's maybe guards right there at the front, but it was for a quick exit. And then Ariana would know about a path that cuts through a tree hollow that goes through the forest and straight into a medical facility. But I will remind the party that it may have been some time since they have seen the castle in person, and this is all off of their historical memory.
So a big part of the question moving forward with planning would be where we want to ultimately end up inside. Is the throne room the best option? Not everybody all at once there. Let's think about this. So I guess the big question on the table and the big gamble we're taking going in here is, do we think there are going to be allies here, or do you think that Heartswild is ruling from here at this point? This would have been the capital before.
Well, that's certainly a question for you. We know just as much, and you might have a better sense of things that are going on. We're not from this plane.
Yeah, I mean, if we were gonna try to find allies, we would have probably should have tried to find them elsewhere before coming over here.
Like Sir Ariana know of people we might try to find who'd be loyal in the castle? perhaps some guards or other people within the infrastructure who might be willing to turn for you if you came back.
Would there be people?
Who are you directing the question at, Flix?
Myself, kind of? No, so would I have to roll a history for that?
Not necessarily. I would think between the three of you would know that there are. You know who your friends are and who would, what the truth may be. So I think it's fair to say that you would know inherently.
Well, when we found my father was telling me that my mother was still alive somewhere, and we don't know where she is, so she could be here somewhere. But with the state that we found Oberon in, and Lord only knows what she's gonna be like. That being said, they weren't my only family, so perhaps there's other members of my family somewhere. My cousin Peter Pan.
Your grandma Nut.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, you got a Grandma Nut? I know Grandma Nut. Fucking crazy.
There may be some soldiers loyal to me, but if there is a new ruling power that is hostile towards us, the friends of mine that were soldiers may have been removed.
Before we immediately go in. So looking at the picture, Doug, I see that there is an outer wall and an inner wall. Would it be safe to assume there's some kind of like the support buildings would be on the outer wall?
Yes.
Would it be prudence then to maybe hide the fairies and one or two of us go incognito and see if we can maybe find some of these people or get a better sense of the climate within the walls, at least with the lower classes and the servants?
Well,
Because our faces are unknown.
now, just how often do people from the material plane find themselves here in the Feywild? Because if you ask me, that limits our options to only one person able to do that while maintaining some type of nativity here within this plane. Are we? This is a separate plane, yeah?
It is.
My people travel to every plane. It wouldn't be too amiss to find an astral elf here.
Exactly. Just being elf alone that you have a connection to the Feywild.
Well, and
But an astral elf.
there's merfolk here. I've seen them before.
Oh shit, no kidding? Hell yeah. I knew there was something wild about me. Who knew I was fake?
Then it might be you and I who are looking for clues within the outer walls. While the
Oh,
others
Miss
hide.
Mary.
Oh no.
I can help you find some clues.
The clue might be this dagger in my boot.
Oh, don't be such a tease.
Jesus Christ.
Now, while Miss Mary recollects herself, that is an option.
As you're all discussing secret paths in the castle, Nico is gonna kind of pander over, examine, look, and look back to the group.
He's been sitting next to me the whole time, remember?
Yeah. But he's probably moved around as he was, as everything was drawn, just to look at all the different angles. Probably then got distracted by something and then finally came back. Looks more towards the fairies. And asks, is there a, as he like tries to figure out, like looks up to the sky trying to recall memory, is there a teleportation circle in the castle? Is that a thing you all use?
I mean, I think there was one in either court.
So, do you remember the sigils? As he pulls out his book and he's like looking at the spell, and out of character DM Doug is also trying to figure out if he casts teleportation circle, can we link it with the teleportation circle that may or may not exist in either court?
If you have the right sigils, yeah. Like, mechanically speaking, it's like the caster has to like know the circle, but if someone else draws it out, then technically you know the circle.
That's how I understood the spell. I just wanted to make sure I was. So good to have the validation there. As Nico just is like pulls out his book, like, and you see like he's scrolling up and down one particular line of text, just making sure he's reading and understanding it right. It's like reading Nona's manual, basically. And then looks back to first the fairies, and then there's script. That's how the spell works, right? I could, in theory, we could do that. That could be an option, right? I just cast teleportation circle. That means we get the sigils right, though, right?
What happens if we get the sigils wrong, though?
Now he's panicked, like scrolling like really quickly through the book. Looks to Mary.
How confident would you be, Flicker, Ariana? I just forgot the third one's name.
Flicks.
Lex.
It's okay.
Too many F's. How confident would you three be in actually remembering, or would it be too dangerous to attempt this?
I mean, out of character thought, I think that it would be a kind of plausible. Like maybe I was sent on a mission through a teleporter. Like, so maybe if I roll a high enough history,
or even put on guard duty.
I think that Flicker would have definitely seen it before. I guess it depends on where it's at in the castle too. Like if it's like, because like if it's attached to the throne room, then I've probably been around it a bunch. And Flicker's a pretty good artist, so.
One of the issues is actually remembering something you may have not necessarily paid all that much close attention to.
True.
Yeah,
to my memory as well, the teleportation circles are usually made within places of high knowledge or high religious meaning. So either a church or like a library or like a wizard's library or something like that.
Well, Flicker kind of likes books. I would have spent time at a library, but I imagine Ariana would have more experience with the church.
And assuming that they exist, right? So then the other battle would be, did we get the sigils right? Right, because I assume it's like one off sigil and things go way sideways. We can figure out what the way sideways is. It doesn't really say it in the spell, so.
To my understanding, it's just that you have to be familiar with the sigils, and if you don't know them, it just doesn't work. You can't make any connection.
So, the fact that like none of us know the teleport spell, and none of us are like familiar with the sigil, we probably wouldn't be able to do that.
It feels like a bad idea.
And this wasn't meant to be a red herring at all. It was more, hey, I think this is it's an option. Terrible option, but it's more just Nico just trying to help the group.
Out of character, if I remember correctly, it's like the teleportation circle, it either works or it doesn't. There's no like, oh, we get sent to another plane of existence or something like that. I think it's actual teleport, like where you can just teleport to an area without a circle, that if you don't know it, there's a chance of something going wrong.
So we can't accidentally dial a wrong number?
Well, that depends on how benevolent Doug's feeling, I suppose.
Well, considering Doug just said red herring, I am less confident.
Yeah, I was saying, like, I wasn't throwing that out to like purposely distract. Is why I put red herring into the conversation like that. So it was an honest like, hey, Nico knows this. Like, is it a viable option? That's why I threw it up on here. And then so that's then me as a DM learning. If I remember correctly, it had to be like you had to know the code, the sigils, whatever you want to call it. You had to punch it in correctly to even connect, and then zip through, which then would enable an option. Another, we're going to sneak through, will just suddenly appear. Also knowing that we have no idea what the current situation of that area is, and we'll just appear there, and we will figure it out as it happens. So I was just making sure that it was a viable, while also playing a little role play with Nico. And I kind of understood teleportation circle, kind of like Stargate, like you got to punch in the address and then go. But then it's like you punch it in wrong, you go to not that place. So I didn't know if that's how the spell worked. I know teleport, exactly what Gello was saying, that you have to know, and if you're like even if you're like vaguely familiar, things could go wrong very quickly. And he knows that too.
So 3 of us have the ability to turn people invisible, at least, as far as I'm aware. So we could theoretically, if we're trying to go with the whatever, oh god, my brain is farting. Because I obviously our teleportation deal is not going to work. So, are we wanting to take the path Flix was aware of and run like distraction on the guards, or?
I have an idea. That's a kind of combination of 2. I suppose 2 ideas. It's more of a choice between the 2, but I liked Miss Mary's idea. 2 of us go in, see if there are allies there, whether they are able to be spoken to, or if they need to be liberated from poor happenstances. We could use them as a diversion, or as a allies for the second part of this plan. If they are used as a diversion, we use the teleportation circle to get into the castle. Or as allies, we storm their castle from within. using said teleportation circle. And he brought up the good point of multiple people being able to be all sneaky. While me and Miss Mary are out convoluting with the common folk, as they say, maybe one or two of you can possibly sneak in, get a good look at that teleportation circle, make sure nothing go wrong whenever we try to do it. But that is gonna be highly risky.
Well, I think there's a good bet that you're right on the money that we'll be able to judge the climate in there just from how the guards react. So it definitely doesn't seem like a bad idea to feel things out before we just jump in. Perhaps if you two want to test the guards at the gate, the rest of us can sort of go through that entrance Flix knew about to get in there and scope things out. And those of us who are less on the sneakier side can get turned invisible. Or, I mean, we don't even have to take in, like, I know Lilith, there's almost, no offense, but there's, like, next to no chance you're not going to get spotted with how you tend to be when we sneak. But, like, if me and Urius and, I don't know, Whisper went in invisible, we could probably scope things out, and I can jot down what the sigils look like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about Mr. Pointed Teeth over there, but I know two of you can fly.
If I wasn't wearing my armor, I could fly.
I like this idea. And then we can reconvene before enacting the next phase.
And then anybody who's not infiltrating can sort of be at the ready to aid y'all if things go south at the gate.
Okay, so which team would I be going with? I got a bit lost there.
Well,
that might be up to you, honestly. I could see you going either way, but
they're gonna need to be hidden.
It would have to be with either you or stay outside. Gallo and I can't necessarily have anyone recognizable with us.
Yeah, I think I might just... I'm not great at being stealthy, and I think it might just be a better idea for me to stay near the gate as backup, just out of sight, in case anything goes south.
Yeah, I'll stay as backup too.
I just wish we had some way to notify you all if anything went wrong inside.
Well, I do have these link pearls here. I'm just kidding, he doesn't have any on him. Well, he got one, he's got his, but...
No cell phone signal?
No. It's all static.
I do have the sending spell, but I don't. I don't. That's not a risk I'm willing to take.
If you
Well,
have
what's the risk about it?
well, if you have sending, if we're in there and like we're gone for a while and things seem like they might be going south, you can always like ping us with sending and see if something's gone wrong and we get the chance to respond.
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, that'll work then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly how long it's going to take for me and Miss Mary. I mean, it could take a good day, honestly, for us to get a good readout, to actually try and find people. It's not like we're going to go in and be like, hey, we're looking for, anarchists who are against the ruling power, and we're going to help you kick their ass. No, it's not going to be like that. We're going to, subtly nudge people with words, see how they react. If they react favorably to us saying something about the Sealy, or unfavorably if we're saying something not so nice about the Sealy.
So yeah, we'll have.
We could set specific times for Lilith to check in with us.
Yeah, that'd be a really good plan.
I'd say, if it's been about an hour or two, you haven't heard from Her Highness and Whisper here, go ahead and send one of them a message.
So every hour or two, check up.
Yeah.
And then, best case scenario, if we make it back in a short enough time, we can check and see how things look with the other team inside.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. I'm just taking a look at how many spell slots I have for sending.
Well, I mean, we still gotta take a long rest, no?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's still the night before. I mean, I can't throw down the charm if I'm a little tired. You know what I'm saying?
Well, given
Just make-
how many out of character thought, given how many spell slots she has for sending, we might want to just be a little bit more like gracious with that time frame, like maybe every 2 hours, because we might need her spells for other things.
Yeah. Make sure, because like you can upcast it. It's just make sure you're not using, the big spell slots that you need for something else. If things go sideways.
And best case scenario, that would be the only thing we're doing that day, and then we would rest again before going ham.
Valid.
I don't see any upcasts. I only see.
It doesn't have anything like it doesn't get any upgrades or anything when you upcast it. You can just use higher spell slots to cast it.
Yeah, you can always use a higher level spell slot to cast a lower level spell.
You just don't get perks for doing it.
Yep, benefits.
But I was gonna say we are infiltrating a castle, so I can see like a 3-hour time span being a safe bet, because but a lot can go wrong.
I like the hour timer because I can't imagine it would take all day for the inside the castle people.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on them.
I imagine that for us, like an hour or two is a good time frame, but checking in with the other group, we can probably wait a good chunk of time on the pings.
Yeah.
And I can say with absolute certainty, if things do go wrong on our end, y'all will know about it. The Duchess.
Careful. Don't do anything dangerous.
Well, that just takes all the fun out of it.
Are you aware of who you're talking to right now?
Yes, I am very, very aware, but I said it nonetheless.
This entire plan spells
if
danger.
anything happens, it's gonna happen to Gello, and not me.
But then he looked.
You're disgusting.
Yeah, I don't want to think about what would happen if something happened to you and Eldon found us.
I'm sure he would be
I
understanding.
think we would all die if something bad happened.
Who can say?
I really want you to know in this moment, while he's not here to hear this, that he is secretly a sweetheart.
I've seen the silly side coming through. He doesn't want you to see it, but I see it.
Yeah, sure. It's not like he's had multiple plans laid out for each individual person, like some type of man bat.
Sounds like more of a you thing.
Oh no. I have one plan, and her name's La Platine. But my partner, she's a bit more of the stabby type than anyone else I've ever met in my life.
Still don't believe this partner is real. You're just making it up.
Oh, honey. Sometimes I think I am too. She's just a dream come true. Like that time she gave me the scar, and I was like, pull down my shoulder of my shirt. There's like a massive fucking stab scar.
Did you do
Next
to
to
get
it's like
that?
all the right things.
So just to confirm, you will be going where?
And Whisper, I can't hear a dang thing you're saying. You came in broken very quickly, and now I don't hear anything. So unless it's
Yeah.
me.
No.
Oh,
It sounded like he was like 10 feet away from the microphone in a windstorm.
Gargling something.
Is that better?
Yes.
Much better.
Yes.
Okay. So just to confirm, who will be going where and when, so that we're all on the same page.
Flix is chilling outside of the gate, but out of sight, so that he's not seen, but just nearby enough in case something bad goes down.
I believe, Whisper, you, me, and hopefully the correct Urius will be team find and draw the sigil. Mary and Gello are going to be team infiltrate and make friends, and Lilith, Flix, and Ariana will stand near the gate ready in case anything goes wrong.
Did you say Flicker or Flix would be
Flix.
outside by himself? Flix.
The captain.
Not by himself.
Flix is out with
Yeah.
Lilith and Ariana.
And
okay.
Nico, probably.
Yeah, Nico's not going in.
What?
Sorry about that, buddy.
What could possibly go wrong?
Urius isn't going to ride.
You gotta do your homework.
I'm a liability with stealth, even with invisibility. With that advantage, that gives me an even roll, and I'm not betting on that.
I thought that's how Urius was going to get up to that entrance. He was going to ride on Nico's back.
Out of character, Urius does have that ability to turn into a bat, but I think it's once a day.
Yeah, well, he hasn't used it in a while.
But he'll be able to use it to get in. And then he's in. And unless he stays the night in the castle, he won't be able to use it again.
The people who are smoozing, I believe.
Oh, is that what they call it over here?
Well, schmoozing your way, charming your way.
high charisma-ing our way.
Which individuals is that?
That'll be Gello and Mary.
Yellow and Mary. Great. So that's the last 2 names I need to have written in my book.
And then Ariana and Lilith are hanging out.
Yes.
Yep.
Whisper walks over to Gello and Mary. He pulls out the book and goes, "Can y'all sign your names on this page, please?"
Whoa there, buddy. Where's the fine print?
There is no fine print. It's a blank page.
Well, I don't
Writing
just
your
sign.
Writing your name, signing whatever on this page will allow me to send to you if there's an emergency. That's why I need Gello, Mary, Lilith, and Flix's names in the book, but I need y'all to write them.
Do I trust him?
Flix is just gonna. No, Flix is just gonna.
I didn't hear that. What?
You're asking us to put our names in your phone?
More or less. It's just a blank page in my book, all on the same page.
Yeah, I love that feature so much.
Flix just signs it. He's like this. Okay, cool. We'll stay in touch. See you next summer. Something.
I don't know. Gello, do you know how to spell and write?
The great thing about this is if he doesn't, he can just put an X for his signature.
I don't know how I feel about that.
That really sounds like a shifty contract.
It's not a contract. It's just an ability. You have to be willing to put your name or your signature on the blank page of the book, and then I will be able to send to you, which, if Mary's already done it, then I do a quick test, and you hear test in your head.
Can we take a look at the book and like hold it?
You know, I'm gonna go ahead and trust you, Whisper, because I know who your patron is.
Seriously.
Flix responds back in his head. What's up?
So, is everybody just warlocks in this party, or what's going on here?
No, but I am a celestial warlock and a divine soul sorcerer.
I
That's
too
caught
am
my
a
eyes,
divine
Adam.
soul.
I mean,
That one I believe.
we can write a contract up
What?
if you want to, go that route.
This
I
is
mean,
just
have you?
an extra way if something does happen that we can send rather than y'all sending. If I have 2 people from each of the other groups,
Now, I'm gonna do this, and
Sorry.
if I get any sendings asking about my airship's extended warranty,
I saw this coming as soon as he said that. If I get any, it's like
whether I am here or back home, I will come back and I will find you.
I hope that's a promise.
All I ever give. And I signed the most immaculate signature you ever seen.
Well, Gallo, it looks like your flirting's working on someone.
Oh, my flirting works on everyone. They just don't know it yet.
Lilith just makes a sound.
Doesn't sign.
a
All right.
pleasant sign.
Lilith, are you signing?
Yeah, I'll sign. Hey Doug. Since Lilith has come from like pretty much a small village, how good would her writing be?
It doesn't even have to be legible.
Okay.
It's good enough, right? Like you were taught your letters. I wouldn't say you're like completely backwoods. You know how to read. You made it. You made it this far with your DAD, right? So
Yep.
no, you can sign your name. Speaking of signing names, Nico looks to whisper, "Can I sign the book?"
I can only have a certain number of individuals in it at one time. I actually thought of you first.
That's okay. I was just curious. Everyone else is signing the book, so no hard feelings. I get it.
We're writing our names in the yearbook.
Yes. Here, Nico. Let me see here. Let me
Flicker will give Nico the emerald pen and go ahead and write all over the walls. It'll go away with time.
Okay. He grabs it and writes. I'll put this in the Roll20 chat.
give him a piece of chalk. Yeah, this will go away in much more time, so it'll last a little bit longer.
So Lilith, Lix, Yellow, and Mary.
Ariana will sign if you want her to.
I can only have up to 4.
Okay.
Well, that's 2 people from each of the other groups, so that
Exactly.
works.
If something happens, I should be able to contact one of y'all from each group, hopefully.
Hopefully nothing happens.
Exactly. That's why I haven't brought this out until now, is because, well, for special occasion.
It's not very often that we split up like this for something.
Exactly.
And when we do, gotta make sure there's a plan and there are contingencies.
Yeah, you weren't here for the time that half the group ended up in hell.
Oh, I remember my trip to the plains. The 13 got a hell of a work out there.
Is that where you found your girlfriend?
Oh no. Though, the family that used to live there.
So it sounds like the party has a plan. I have a hell of a session to figure out how to put together with, if I understand this correctly, 4 different parties in 4 different locations.
Just
correct?
3.
3? So
Yeah.
Flix is hanging out with Ariana, Lilith, and Nico?
Yes.
So I have,
Yep.
Okay. All right. They're all together. Either way, 3 separate areas. This is going to be fun or crazy. I'm excited either way.
The people
And-
outside the gate is just going to be a camping subplot.
Yeah.
To tell scary stories to each other.
And answering text messages from their friends.
The people who are staying outside, are they staying in the cave area?
We were gonna stay nearby the gate, just like close enough that we'd be able to kind of hear if something went down in the immediate area. But then, I suppose after we if they get in successfully, I guess we could just backtrack a bit to the cave.
Well then,
The
what
reason-
for those of us who are gonna be staying back, what it should be our oh fuck, what's that word when you're like
Panic.
you're giving a false truth, a false or a lie to someone, of saying like, oh, this is who I am, but you're not.
Cover story.
Yes, cover story.
Well, if everything goes right, you should need one.
Yeah, we if we get spotted, if me and Ariana get spotted, it's there. If it's bad, it's gonna be bad. So we're staying completely out of sight. We're pretty much just gonna be within earshot.
I don't believe there's going to be a cover story available if you have 2 wanted people in your group.
Yeah. Cover story could be I decapitate them.
Flix was
No.
a member of the Unseelie Court, so he might have some level of wiggle room to lie his way out. But Ariana was a cleric in the Seelie Court, so she might have a number on her head for sure. Mind you, they've both been gone, so.
Lowe's will defend them.
You want to know what push comes to shove? I'm arresting the Seelie Court member.
There you go.
Okay.
And
Push
Lilith
comes to
was
shove.
there too.
This is my guard and chaperone. This is my friend dragon, and this is my prisoner.
Now, Lilith, if you get spotted alone, just take all of your clothes off and act like you've lost your mind, and they'll just think that you're lost.
It's real. She like.
Yeah, that happens a lot to people around here if they're by themselves.
Yeah, if somebody comes into to Tir Nanog through like one of the crossroads, there's these things called like fairy mounds and stuff. Yeah, it doesn't end well for most.
Yeah, some are lucky to keep their consciousness.
By the way, none of you should probably stay here for too long.
I stayed a good 5 years in the Feywild. Didn't have no effect on me.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Is that not the explanation for why you're the way you are?
I believe him.
I mean, if anything, I came out more sane.
Mary starts inching away from him.
That is subjective, my friend.
No, not that. I mean, y'all can choose not to believe me or whatever. I'm just saying. I mean, clearly it's due to having, blood roots tied to the Fae, so maybe it affects me differently.
Man, when you need your town's fair to be hosted so we can bring out the dunk tank.
I don't know what that means.
I think she's
maybe. I think she's already starting to succumb.
Well, we better hurry and go to sleep so that we can get her back.
Come on, Grandma. Let's get you to bed.
You didn't eat anything weird, did you, Lilith? Concerning.
I mean,
All right.
I did eat a couple of the blackberries that I gathered earlier.
You're not supposed to eat Fae food.
In the real world, why are you eating blackberries you get off the bush? What are you doing?
Well, they look like normal blackberries, and they're edible. So I just thought they were like. I fucked up, didn't I?
Let's go to bed.
Okay, I'll go to bed.
That's probably the best bet. Things might get funny otherwise.
Now, Miss Mary, if you would be so kind, we definitely should have a cover story that we need to come up with. Which out of character we will discuss in private.
Yes. I agree.
Well, Gello, I have an aunt you might be able to pretend to have known. She really liked swimming in water.
Oh, I bet she did.
And with that, I'm going to bed as well.
It's like you've got like an aura that just like pushes her away, man.
I have that effect on the women.
Is it
Take
a
a bath.
desired effect or?
I'm trying to take a bath. You know how long it's been since I've been in water? My gills are drying out, bud.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, when's the last time any of you were taking a bath? I haven't seen any of y'all take it. Well, I mean, I've been trying to see any of y'all take a bath, but I haven't experienced a time in which y'all have disappeared to go take a bath since I've known y'all.
Please tell me, at what point were we able to take said bath?
Exactly.
I canonically took a bath when we were at Zeratol's. So it might.
That was before I met you.
It's still been a minute.
And before y'all met me, I was stuck in the cave with one arm, bleeding out, going crazy from sepsis.
Do you still have like blood flecks on you? Jeez.
Yeah. Still there. You know how much it kills me that I haven't washed my shirt?
Roswin just prestidigitates Kello.
Thank you, Johannes.
I think everyone will thank me for that one. And she'll just roll over in her bedroll.
Flix is asleep.
Do we need to take watch?
Well, I've already cast alarm twice.
Yeah,
One
we
at the
have-
entrance, and actually, I'd probably cast it 3 times, covering a 60-foot area around the entrance of our area, and once at the entrance, just to give us sort of a forewarning.
And we have
I was
Tiny
gonna
Hut.
I was gonna say I thought you had Tiny Hut up, or someone did, whether it's you or
We have 2 tiny hut.
Yeah, I don't have to be in the location to keep the alarm or not. It's a ritual, so I can cast it as many times as I want. It lasts for 8 hours.
We're just being extra careful.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, Whisper. I was speaking into this fourth wall here to the DM.
And that being said, assuming everyone's gonna call it a night in Tiny Hut, alarm set, and this crazy plan to go infiltrate the castle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make some ammunition before I go to bed.
And just so
Okay.
you're aware, the 3 outer alarms are silent to me. The one at the entrance is also silent to me.
Okay. Duly noted.
We recover our exhaustion, right?
So yeah, when we fast forward start of the day, yes, you're one level. So assuming you don't have 2, I don't think anyone does.
Not yet.
Will go away, and all your spell slots will get recovered. Anything that resets at a long rest will be reset. Same with a short rest. But yeah, we'll pick up next session when everyone's waking up in the morning, and looks like I have a very interesting session that I will be talking to probably each of you about, just to work out certain details. But I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, and on a completely unrelated note, just the other night I was in a campaign playing a Owling Bard, and we encountered giant frogs.
Okay.
So the fact that we encountered giant frogs tonight, I was just laughing inwardly the entire time. It's like, please don't have it try and eat me. Otherwise, I'm going to have to kill it. Because that's what happened with my bard. Is it
I kind of,
to be eaten.
I have an inkling that that was Stephanie inspired.
So, does anyone want to do anything before we close the night in the game? before we move on to post?
Lilith would like to read what remainder she has to finish on the book.
Okay, probably have like an hour or two left before you need to sleep for your 8 hours.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that everyone wants to wake up probably before the sun is up, so like 4 or 5 in the morning, to get prepped, move through the night, and hit everything like right at the beginning. I'm just taking a general assumption. If that's not the case, we can discuss it post or throughout the coming days.
Oh, Flicker,
Yeah.
are you planning on going in Invis?
Yeah, well, you, me, and Urius all have the ability to turn invisible, so that's why I figured we'd be Team Infiltrate for the sigil.
Yeah, and
We should, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say I also have several dimensional movement capabilities as well for quick retreat if we need to.
Well, that'll be helpful if anything does go sideways.
Misty step, etc.
I was kind of worried what we would do if we got cornered or something.
I do feel like we should clue Rory in on what's going on. Because, like, just my understanding of it, like, the two of you are going to be invisible, or the three of you are going to be invisible, flying over the wall into the castle to get a look at the sigils, and then, flying out.
There's a secret entrance that Flix knew that's by the gate, but, like, away from the gate. That was my plan, was that we were going to go through that.
Awesome.
So they're not flying.
Okay.
Okay, I gotta go, but you guys have a good night.
Good night.
Yeah. Same. I gotta go to bed.
Thanks for playing, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Game.
Thanks,
That was a
Doug.
fun first session for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're right
Still
in.
alive at the end of it. It's awesome, right?
Yes.
Let's see if the second one still holds up.
We shall find out.
Then-
so,
I'm on Dragon Ball Z.
so in post, what I did with the